Hey everyone, this is Unlock24, and today I have an extremely good deck for you guys. Now, overall, I think this deck has the potential to be one of the top tier decks whenever the Forbidden and Limited list comes through. The deck is really good already. The only thing it has a problem against is against Cyber Angels, but Cyber Angels is one of the decks that is going to get nerfed here in the, I think it's November 7th or the 5th. But once that goes ahead and goes active, I think this is gonna be one of the top decks out there. And I know I've been waiting for a while to say that about this deck, and you'll see why here in a bit. Or if you've already seen the thumbnail and the title, you probably know what I'm talking about. Let me go ahead and get all this extra free stuff, and then we'll talk about it. All right. So this deck is completely insane. I wanted a complete winning streak, and here, let me go ahead and show you. Here it is. And let me go ahead and go through the deck once, and then I'll go ahead and explain it. So I'm running 2 Phoenix Gearfried, 2 Darkstorm Dragons, 2 Heavy Knight of the Flame, and I think this is becoming one of my favorite cards in the deck. This is an answer to absolutely everything, and in this deck it does a ton of work. 3 Blazewing Butterflies, 3 Featherizer, and I think this is one of the key cards in the deck also. Supervise, of course, it's completely broken in this deck. It's just, it allows you to do a ton of things. 3 Mirror Wall, and 2 Birthright, and I think this is the push that the deck needed. This is a Birthright. I wish I had a third one, but I don't. I only have 2. If I had a third one, I might be taking out a Mirror Wall for it. Birthright allows you to do a ton of things. You can activate it during your opponent's turn to get a Darkstorm Dragon, or after your Featherizer has been destroyed, you get a Darkstorm Dragon. You can activate the Darkstorm Dragon's effect, blow everything up. Of course, the Darkstorm Dragon is going to blow itself up, but if you have a Supervise attached to it, you can just get it back. There's a ton of little combos that you can do with this card. Now, what makes the deck is Fusion Time with Jaden, or with, I think Alexis has one with the same thing where you can get a polymerization. So that's really what's making the deck. That skill is just really good. You only have to take 1500 damage, and once you do, you go ahead and get to draw a polymerization. So I am running 3 Super Alloy Beast Reptilians, which in reality you only need 1 or 2. You don't need 3. I put in the 3 because I had them. But anyways, it has a ton of little combos, so you always want to start out with Featherizer, and I did contemplate on using Restart instead, but if I use Restart, I can't use Fusion Time, and Fusion Time is just really good. Featherizer gets destroyed, his effect activates, you get to draw a free card, and then you get to send a Darkstorm Dragon or a Gearfried. Most of the time you want to send Darkstorm Dragon, because Darkstorm Dragon has a huge ability where you can blow up the entire back row, and sometimes that's just enough to win the games. This guy, again, is just an absolute monster that he can negate any type of spells, and whenever your opponent does activate a spell, his effect triggers and you can special summon a monster, and that's just huge. Now, I do think that the deck is made by Birthright. Supervise with a Butterfly after a Featherizer has been destroyed is it's just a huge play, and if you can pull that off against a Red Eyes deck, you're gonna automatically win because they don't have a way to go ahead and get over it unless they're running Kaiba with Beatdown, and even at that, you're still running 3 Mirror Wall to go ahead and defend it. So it's really hard for a Red Eyes deck to go ahead and defeat you, even for a Blue Eyes deck, because you do have a Heavy Knight of the Flame, and if you're playing against a Blue Eyes deck, you know to go ahead and send the Heavy Knight of the Flame, because Heavy Knight of the Flame is going to be a big player against really strong monsters that are special summon, like Blue Eyes, Red Eyes, and whatever that's out there. So the deck, I think it has an answer to basically everything. I think Cyber Angels will kind of put too much pressure on the deck to where you can't really do anything, and if Cyber Angels don't attack with the main monster's effect, you just sent it to the graveyard. I can't remember the name of it right now. But anyways, let me go ahead and show you some of the replays. Alright, let me press pause. Alright, here's the first replay. It's against a Pegasus. And let's see what he's running. I don't remember what it was, but most of these games were really, really good. I actually had a really good game with this next one that I'm going to show you. Not this one, but the next one. It was a really long game. I think it was around maybe 15 to 20 minutes. We were taking almost the entire amount of time that we were allowed, and you'll see in a bit. I'm just having a ton of fun with this deck, and I mean, the deck can perform, and if you're skilled enough and if you think about your plays, the deck is really, really good. I lost once to, and that was, the only loss that I had, well, communication timed out. Alright, I guess the servers are kind of messed up still. So the one loss that I had was against a, I think it was just some randomness, and I was just being an idiot because I was just attacking left and right, and he had mirror wall after mirror wall after mirror wall, which when you have a strong monster, there's no point for you to be attacking. But again, I was like, this guy's playing randomness. I don't think he'll have a mirror wall, and I attack, and there it is. There's the mirror wall, and he summons some other weird monster. Doesn't really matter what monster it is, but it's like a 1500 attack monster, and I'm like, there is no way with him playing this type of monsters that he's gonna have a mirror wall. And I go ahead and attack, and there it is. There's another mirror wall, and then the third time I'm like, surely enough, he doesn't have a mirror wall, and I attacked again, and then that was my last monster too. So I ended up getting all my monsters destroyed, and then I lose to just random little weak monsters after that because I couldn't get a monster to save my life. So he destroys Featherizer, so I send the Darkstorm Dragon, which is one of the key moves to do in this deck. There's some mirror wall face down, and I do get a Super Rise. I decided to just go ahead and attack because I want to go ahead and activate Polymerization. I want to take some damage. And then I'm like, maybe I don't have to take damage. Maybe I can just normal summon the Butterfly and bring back the Darkstorm Dragon. And I'm like, alright, then I'm going to go ahead and just do that instead. So mirror wall goes through. I do get another mirror wall. So normal summon the Blazewing. Bring up the Darkstorm. Activate Super Rise on the Dragon. The Dragon's effect activates. The entire back row gets destroyed. Super Rise activates. I bring back the Butterfly, and then I can go ahead and attack for game. I am going to take 500 damage for that black pendant, though. I set the mirror wall just in case he has a Karibo, but attack. Alright, okay. Alright, let's go to the next one. So, again, I do think this is going to be... I accidentally clicked on the Joey Wheeler, I think. That's one of the things I don't like about all this lagging. And I sound like a broken record, but Konami does need to do something about all this lag that's been going on in this game. They need to either add some servers or... I don't know, they need to fix it. Because it's getting super annoying, and it's getting to the point to where I kind of don't want to play the game because everything's so laggy, it's so glitchy, and it takes forever to just get into one game. So I clicked on the Joey Wheeler. I guess this. I think he was running Red Eyes, and again, the Red Eyes cannot compete against this deck. The fact of running the Heavy Knight with an actual Gemini. And on this one, I was running two Chimic Creator Hydron Hawks, and those things were just gimmicky, so I decided to take them out. The deck still works, but I mean, I'd never used this the Hawk once. It's not as good as you'd think, because you do have to second summon it or waste a Supervise on it. Alright, so I do set Featherizer, and he activates the Spirit, which I guess it's fine. It's your usual Red Eyes deck shenanigans. He summons Red Eyes, that's fine. I do want to take some damage. And unfortunately I didn't take any damage. I'm going to get rid of that. I guess someone wants me to play Mermails again. Alright, so Birthright comes through, Darkstorm Dragon. I'm going to be able to go ahead and clear the entire back row with Super Rise, and then I'll be able to get the Darkstorm Dragon back. Alright, there it goes. Get the Darkstorm Dragon back. And at this point, I still haven't summoned yet, so I can go ahead and summon the Heavy Knight. And then go ahead and activate Supervise just in case, because I do want to get rid of the red ice. I thought, and even if it gets destroyed, I can go ahead and just get it back with Supervise. I thought if he had a Karibo, I can just go ahead and attack the red ice again to get it destroyed. And I knew that even if I attacked Exploder Dragon, I can just go ahead and get it back with Supervise. And Supervise is just super good. But I do think that Birthright does make the deck like way better than it was. Alright, there's another red ice inside again. But against this deck again, that Heavy Knight and those monsters that are over 2700 attack, red ice really can't do much about. Like they really can't do anything. Alright, there's another red ice with that he summoned with the Wyvern. But I mean, I'm fine with it. I second summon the Heavy Knight. And I can just go ahead and attack, and it goes to the graveyard. Alright, he does have another spirit, but I do have a mirror wall, so the spirit doesn't really matter. He goes ahead and draws. He attacks into a mirror wall for game. Mirror wall just needs to be restricted to 1, in my opinion. You can spam this card in literally every single deck. Alright, there's the Joy Wheeler. Let's go to Mako and then do the last one. Alright, this Mako was running balance with a clown deck. And this was I think this has to be one of the best games I've had so far. Yeah, let's go loaded. Oh yeah, and I still got several friends that play the actual card game, and they're wanting me to come back really bad. I don't know if I want to play the actual card game though. It takes a lot of time, and my time's kind of limited as it is. But I mean, there's a niche there. I think I kind of want to start it up again, but again, there's so much time and so much effort. I do still have several competitive decks. I think I do still have a really high-end Mermail deck. I have a complete counter. Like a fossil deck with the Solemn Wishes, I think, or whatever that card was. So, unfortunately, here this clown only has 1350. But, anyways, he goes ahead and sets. He doesn't attack. Alright, that's fine. And that was kind of annoying me that he wasn't attacking. So, I guess he is a really smart player. So, shout out to him. He attacks. He finally attacks my Featherizer. Featherizer activates. And here, that was a misplay. I should have sent a Darkstorm Dragon. But I only run 2 Darkstorm Dragons, so there was no way for me to run it. And I was like, after I made that play, I'm like, oh, I'm kicking myself. I'm like, why didn't I send a Darkstorm Dragon? I'm like, oh wait, they're in my hand. Because if I had a Darkstorm Dragon, I could have just wiped the entire field out if I had a second one, or a third one, I mean. But I do have to tribute for it, and he econs it. And here in the replay, you can't see, but we took a ton of time contemplating what moves to do and everything. Alright, so Guardian Statue goes out, but the Supervisor will go to the graveyard, so I will be able to go ahead and summon the Gearfried back. Alright, Guardian Statue flips back. And here, I needed to get rid of that Guardian Statue as soon as possible, so I do have to get the summon a Heavy Knight, so he unfortunately activates Windstorm and flips all my monsters to defense, so I can't get rid of the statue, which means he's going to bounce my card. And on top of that, the Sergeant Electro blocked my back row. Right, he attacks, and then I take 600 damage, but that allows me to go ahead and get a Polymerization Refusion time. And that skill just makes this deck, I think. Well, I don't know. There's a lot of cards that just work together. I think that the deck, but like the whole deck is just it's good. Alright, there goes the butterfly. Butterfly activates. I go ahead and get a Gearfried. Enemy controller's Gearfried effect activates. I get a Darkstorm Dragon back, or Darkstorm Dragon, and I can just keep attacking. And here, like I said, with this deck, I have so many strong monsters that I'm not afraid to attack, and they're not necessarily. I knew he had either a Mirror Wall or a Super Rush, but I was trying to get him to go ahead and activate him because his card count is just a lot, and I do get a Supervise. It was super lucky, and here I go ahead and negate it because he didn't have any monsters. He only has 100 attack. I negate it. Unfortunately, Darkstorm Dragon doesn't go through, but it does negate his enemy controller, which means I can go ahead and attack for game. And Supervise did go to the graveyard, so I can go ahead and get another monster. And here, there's really nothing else that could save him, so I'm like, that's game. Alright, that was actually a really good game. Shout out to that guy. Let's see what his name is. Oh, it doesn't show his name, but anyways, really good game against him. And then the last one. Let's see. Don't remember what this was. Alright, let's go ahead and load. Come on, don't give me another error. Right, good. At least it loaded. It's kind of sad that that's, I guess, I had an expectation that I'm just grateful that it loads. Alright, I'm going first. Alright, so there's the Birthright. And I kind of just wanted to leave an empty field, but I decided against it. I just go ahead and set the Butterfly because I have Birthright. And Birthright gives you that kind of that security that you're going to have a monster regardless whether it gets destroyed or not. And here I was hoping that he'd flipped out our monster and I took 1500 damage, but that didn't happen. So I left a blank field. His ninja activates, he sees my Mirror Wall. And I don't know what he was thinking because he did see my Mirror Wall, so I go ahead and take the damage, activate the Birthright to get my Butterfly. And here he decides to attack it. He saw the Mirror Wall clearly. He still attacked it, I don't know. There goes Fusion Time. I can go ahead and activate Supervise on the Blazewing so I can go ahead and get it back. And activate Polymerization. Send the Gearfried and the Butterfly for the Super Alloy. And here I was just doing some shenanigans. I'm like, I'm just going to get the Butterfly and activate the effect to go ahead and get the Gearfried, but you really don't need to do that. I was just messing around. You just need to go straight to the Gearfried. He is running reinforcement. He gets like a ninja, which it's not really gonna help him. He quits after that. All right, so there it is. Let me go ahead and show you the deck once again, just in case you missed it or if you can't see it over there in the on the left. No, go back. I'm gonna have to get out. I remember. I think this is a video from or a replay from yesterday's video. Oh, come on, get out. Of course, you have to wait half an hour for me to press stop. Come on. Oh, is that same that same replay? Get out, get out. Let me press a stop. Yeah, definitely get out of that. Alright. Again, hopefully I don't accidentally press anything while this screen loads. Right, and still have not had any time to play the event. That whole Return to the Kingdom event or whatever that thing's called. There it is. There's the deck again. 2 Gearfried, 2 Darkstorm, 2 Heavy Knights, 3 Butterfly, 3 Featherizer, not Synthesizer, Featherizer, 3 Supervise, 3 Walls, and 2 Birthrights. This is a really, really good deck, really fun to play. This is kind of what I was waiting for. I've always been a fan of Geminis. And just like I said, if you missed my first little story, a Gemini deck was one of the first decks that I used to top my first regional. It was a Gigaplant. It wasn't the OTK version. It was a beatdown OTK version. The OTK with a mass driver. I wasn't doing the mass driver. I was doing just a straight up beatdown with like Gigaplants, Reasoning, and Monster Gates. I was doing 3 Reasonings, 3 Monster Gates, and I was just running the 3 Gigaplants, the 2 Butterflies, and there was another like a level 2 that I was running. But anyways, I just completely destroyed in Gladiator format with that Gigaplant deck. But anyway, that's gonna be it for today. If you have any questions or comments, or if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave me a comment or down in the comment section below. If you really enjoyed it, go ahead and leave a like. And if you are enjoying my content, I would truly appreciate it if you guys subscribe. And I'll see you next time.